Hello everyone, and today we're going to make some white sauce. Now, a lot of people will say that white sauce is old-fashioned and it's got too much fat in, but look, take it or leave it. It's a nice sauce. So the ingredients are quite simple for this. You've got some half soy and coconut milk. You've got your gluten-free flour. You've got your vegan butter. Now, the other things on here are absolutely essential as well. So we'll do something called an onion cloutier, which is basically French for onion and clove and bay leaf, and that's really essential for this sauce to have those three elements to flavour your milk. Okay, it just gives it that beautiful savoury flavour that you'd come to recognise when you've had a good white sauce. And I'll say good white sauce because there's plenty of people would never even put that in and expect you to have a good white sauce. But nonetheless, so if you put those in, fantastic. So we're just going to heat up the milk first. So as you can see, we've got the bay leaf there and onion that's been studded with the clove, and that's just going to come to the boil. Now what we've got here is we've just melted the butter, and then we add the flour, and we're going to cook out the butter for about five minutes or so. And you can see in this video how it changes over the first few minutes. If you can see how it's starting to go a little bit white, that's telling you that all the starch grains in there are starting to cook. Easy. You bring the milk up to the boil with the onion in and cloves and bay leaf, and just bring it up to the boil at a medium heat, and then leave it to sit to infuse for about 10 minutes to get all the flavour of that onion, clove into the sauce. Now while that's infusing, you're going to cook your vegan butter and flour together to make a roux. So what I've done here is equal quantities of flour and butter, and how I like to do it is I'll cook off this separately in a different pan, and then I add the warm milk all at once and whisk it. So I take it off the heat and do that, and that's how I finish off the sauce. Now in French terms that would be called a beurre manière, but this is just my method of making the sauce. Okay, so we just brought everything to the boil and we've strained the milk here, and then we're going to add everything all at once and finish off the sauce. So as you can see, this is starting to get nice and thick, and that's about the sort of thickness that you want it for a nice sauce to go with your cauliflower cheese or whatever. This recipe, I recommend you've got your milk quantity. I recommend that you just add 3/4 of the milk back into the pan, and just to make sure that the sauce thickens properly. If it's too thick, then you can add the extra milk, but if it's too thin, you'll have to add more flour again, and it makes it very, very difficult to get the sauce thick again. So don't add all your milk, because sometimes it doesn't seem to, sometimes it may not work depending on how your flour mix is, what type of rice it is, how old it is. All these sorts of things will make a difference for this particular recipe, so just be aware of that. Now, as you can see, if you've cooked your flour and your butter out properly together, the roux, your sauce should be quite glossy and it should be quite thick as well. And that's kind of what you want. Just it'll easily coat the back of a spoon is what you want. And also it will get thicker when it cools.